to send by email. Yes. We have emailed out, or I have emailed out, hopefully everyone has received it. The Indian minutes, the Indian minute, the flag minute, women's issues minute, and the conservation minute. And also Julia sent out the, message from the President General. Thank you. We did that in order to save a little time because we knew today would be a little bit busier than normal. So that's why we did it this way. Although we do want to have a treasure report.
I hear bells. Or is that sirens?
Yes, Mary.
Anyway, where that was going on, it was getting hard to hear you over the only one at the table.
Okay, thank you. I'll try to a little bit louder. I have new hearing aids and I'm really loud to myself, so I'll have to remember that not everybody has these things on. So it's a big adjustment for me. Okay, Carrie, do you have a treasure report?
And you already approved the minutes?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. I'm sorry.
Well, see,
Yes.
I thought you'd come on approving the minutes, and I just had a correction, but I didn't hear.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my fault. What was your correction?
Well, it was just as it's a Edgefield County Historical Society, not Edgefield Historical Society.
So it's a Scrivener's edition.
That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, and the treasurer's report, the beginning balance was from our May 21st meeting, and it said the balance, even according to the bank statement, was $7,746.70. We've received income of $3,932, and the disbursements of $2,858.10, giving us a balance, even according to our September 15th bank balance, $8,720.60. But I deposited I deposited $704 on Saturday, so now our balance is $9,574.60.
Do we accept those treasure reports?
Is there supposed to be a budget also?
The budget report.
Absolutely. Go ahead and do the budget, we will do it at the same time.
Yeah, I think everybody probably would have received the budget that was sent out to the board. I presume you sent out copies to everybody, and so you've already received that. Any questions? Yes?
When does the budget go into effect? I know we have to vote on it, but when does it actually start?
That's really what we're working on now, but of course there's other things that are coming in. In fact, a better way to do the budget would have been to put in a category for donations. Just like a church has contributions, it would be the same thing. And I'll have talked to our state treasurer, Robin Wilson, about that, and she's given me different ideas on doing the budget.
They didn't answer the question.
Okay.
When does it start?
We're working with what we have.
Okay.
It's all, I have it all in a spreadsheet, it's continuing from what Holly had done, and like putting in everybody's amounts when you send your dues. If you have amounts you contribute to a certain cause, be it Tomasi, Wreaths Across America, or any number of things, that's all put in a special category, so I have a running account of all of that.
I think what Susan was asking, we don't have a specific time, it just keeps on rolling. We don't have like it's from September.
As the registrar, I asked for allocation of certain funds, and so I'm wondering, are those available now?
I put under administration, $682.30.
Okay, and we talked about that at a board meeting, how, you know, the,
I have another amount, yeah.
so is it,
We talked about it at the board, so there's
okay,
money put in there. I know there's a lot of.
I'm assuming now
Yeah,
is good,
that's
okay.
Registrar, we were registrar was myself before.
Madam Chairwoman of the Treasury report, do we have an allocation in the budget for the ongoing expense of any insurance relative to the rock, or can we just carry over the $750 that's already?
No, we've never received any form saying that there is any insurance, that there's going to be. Can't do it unless you give me a form.
Well, I mean, we can budget for what we
Yeah.
estimate the insurance to be, and
Okay,
include it
yes,
in their
okay.
annual budget now, so that when we get a bill in November, we'll be able to cover that bill.
Yeah, so I can put that in, I'll put that into the budget.
So can I make a motion to amend your presented budget to add a $250 allotment for potential insurance of the rock, or to keep the $750 already noted as an expense for the rock, to be carried over into this budget year as the insurance fund for the rock?
And you can make it, of course, we won't know exactly how much we'll need, so you wanna make it $250 for the insurance for the rock?
I would prefer, that's what you would mention.
Okay.
So I move the
Insurance
first part of the
for
motion,
rock.
I'll second.
Do you have a second?
I second.
Any discussion?
We need, and this is an annual fee, correct?
It would need to be.
It's gonna be for our existence, yes.
And you'll explain this more in the townhouse
Yes.
discussion. Okay.
All those in favor of the motion, raise your hand, please.
Okay.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Karen,
Thank you, Jane Page.
Carrie, I have a question about, will you explain, the discounted rate that we did not charge, that the chapter is absorbing this year?
She's asking questions.
Will you explain why?
Stand up, maybe some of us can hear it over here. What?
Will you explain why we're not passing the $45, the increase on to the members this year?
Yeah. As you know, the way the economy is, everything keeps going up, whether you're buying gas, whether you're buying clothes, whether you're buying something on Amazon, gas, food, you name it, it's all going up. Of course, then here's our National Society, went up $3. Our budget committee, which consisted of Regent Julia, myself, and then Maureen Quinn. And we decided just to keep it the same amount total, $77 for chapter dues. And we'll still, of course, we're still paying national dues, what they wanted, $45. And it just makes money coming to the chapter a couple of dollars less. But we get so much in donations anyway. Yeah, think about that.
Which is good.
So that's why we decided to keep it the same. We didn't wanna put another burden on people to have their dues go up to $80. I know some people would get out of the chapter if they knew it went up to 80, or if it went up, period. We wanna try to retain our members that we have. So that's the reason why.
Thank you. Linda, you have a report from the financial defender?
A concert celebration was on July 7th, 2022. It was a great day for the nation and military women. Brigadier General Wilma L. Vaught was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Joe Biden. This medal, the nation's highest civilian award, recognizes individuals who have made, quote, an especially meritorious contribution to the security or national interests of the United States, world peace, cultural, or other significant public or private endeavors. It is bestowed only after careful deliberation of a lifetime of service from a distinguished career. After nearly 29 years of exemplary trailblazing service in the Air Force, General Vaught devoted another 29 years to building and operating America's only major memorial to honor military women. This is known as the Women in Military Service for America, and it's located just outside the grounds of Arlington National Cemetery. She describes this as, quote, the most important thing she has ever done. She enlisted in the 1950s because she wanted to be a leader, Biden said. She did that and more, becoming the first woman in almost every leadership role she held in nearly 30 years in uniform, shattering conventions and shaping a new tradition of our military. And she couldn't stop after retirement. If you've never seen the WMSA memorial, it really is kind of neat, and it's a voluntary thing. So if you know any women who were in the military, please direct them to the website, because you enroll yourself, and then it's basically a huge database of all women who've served in the military. And General Vaught, she was really the one who moved it forward and got it to be what it is today. The other one I just wanted to remind everybody about is to remember Red Friday, which stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. And it's a way to support the men and women who are in the military, and all you have to do is wear something red on Fridays. So, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry. I have some correspondence to read to you. Congratulations. The application for DAR Historic Preservation Recognition Award to be given at the Trenton chapter has been approved. Your application is beautiful, and the work of the Beach Island Historical Society in collecting, preserving, and promoting local history for the community is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing the story of the Beach Island Historical Society with me. There's considerable history in your area. I encourage you to submit pictures, articles of the presentation of this award to the Daughters newsletter to demonstrate to other chapters how they may honor significant contributions to our heritage and cultural, national development. And she goes on with a few other comments about how to do that. And really, I wish that Mary were here, because Mary did all of this. Although it said, Dear Julia, I have to give the credit to Mary. And the other one is, Dear Mrs. Carter, I am the president of William Strauss Society, NSDAR, and I'm writing to you to request your support, your chapter's support for our society. As Harriet how do you pronounce her last name? Lothrop, I guess. A DAR member and the founder of the National Society of the Children of the American Revolution stated, good citizens cannot be made suddenly, they must grow. She envisioned the need to create an organization that would guide young people, opportunities in education that will allow them to grow to be informed and good citizens, honoring the principles which are shared by the Daughters of the American Revolution. And she stated some ways that we can help CAR. Volunteer as a senior leader. There's no greater joy than mentoring young people. Engage CAR members to participate with your chapter. Members are all ready to serve. Include the CAR as part of your DAR membership drives. This is a family affair. Donate. Consider donating to your local, state, or national CAR societies. And I know that we do support CAR, and I want to thank Robin for all the work that you do with that young group.
We've got a CAR here today.
Yes,
Yay.
we did.
I'm glad you're here. Okay, new business. Jane Page will give us a Pine House report.
So can everybody hear me from over here?
What?
We went and met with, Lisa, the owner of the Pine House. Julia and Kim and I did, to make sure that going forward, any liability that the rock may pose on our club is covered. If someone, for example, comes off the highway because they know the rock is there because of the historic marker, and for some reason, forgets to put their handbrake on and runs into the rock, or for some reason somebody hurts themselves while at the rock, being a litigious country that we have become, it is obvious that we probably need to have some sort of insurance to protect Lisa and to protect our chapter. So Bettis Rainsford is helping us draft up the paperwork, and once we have the paperwork done, the insurance company is gonna give us a quote on becoming not an additional insured on Lisa's policy, but at least we can help her insure the 12 by 12 foot area that the rock sits on her property, in case somebody tries to sue her because they got hurt there. So that's the update on the Pine House marker.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Has it been resolved whether I don't understand, do we own the ground, do we have a
We had a
easement
massive
to it?
discussion,
Yeah.
the original documents that came in were, we were going to own this 12 by 12 foot area. We will not be accepting ownership of the 12 by 12 foot area. We will be having an easement important, and we will also have a 99-year lease. Any other questions?
Next on the agenda is Susan. Talking about our monthly parties.
No, I didn't, I'm gonna let Dawn talk about that, it's pretty much the monthly party. I'll let you talk about that. But I did wanna say, and I wanna do it earlier in the meeting, just a real quick registrar's report. We've got 11 prospective members. This summer's been kind of busy and active. We've got 3 today that have signed their applications, and that's Lucy and Susan and Jill. So please welcome them. And then we also have 4 new members that are with us today. We've had 5 in the last little bit, but Lisa Roberts is actually Tasha's aunt, and she lives in Texas. So if you mind, I've just got some quick little gifts that I want to give them. Lisa's got hers already. She already emailed Tasha, and I was like, thank you. I was like, shush. Carolyn.
Oh, thank you.
So this is Carolyn Lucky. Charlene. Tasha Garland. And I just gotta say, these new people who are coming in, it's so exciting to have them. This is the same Tasha that wrote our last beautiful newsletter. And this is Karen who's videoing this meeting for us already. Thank you, Anna Bridget.
Dawn Patrick is a fairly new member also.
Yes, she is. Well, of our chapter.
I've been in DAR 20 years, but we just moved here, so I'm a transfer, so don't think I'm trying to take over, I just know a lot of stuff. Just trying to make this stuff. So I've been helping, Susan with some of her many jobs, and one of those jobs that National is leaning on us for is member retention, and along with dues, just includes making members feel part of things and feel welcome. And so what we're doing is a monthly dessert date for the birthday girls. We've had 2 so far, one in August for the ladies' daughters who were born in August, and one in September, and so each month, that's what we'll do. You'll get an email from me, we'll decide, what works for everybody, just a little afternoon dessert, and it's based on Kim's ice cream party. It was so wonderful this summer, so I wrote her, I said, I'm stealing your idea, and so that's what we're doing. So that's my membership committee role, in my America 250 job, I have, two things. Okay, National is offering $500 grants to chapters. They're called America 250 Celebration Grants. We can combine with other chapters to get more money if there is a project that we can all agree to work on. We cannot use the money for any ongoing or current projects. So we can't use it for the rock, we can't use it for, the kids' colonial chores exhibit, and anything else that we're already working on. It has to be something brand new. The grant is to promote family history study, to celebrate patriot ancestors, and/or to encourage DAR membership. And there are three things we will be looking at. I use we as in the royal we. I'm the committee right now. That's just to get legwork out of the way. But you will be hearing from me by email when I get some more details, proposals about what we might work on. Because we need a consensus and we may need people to help. And so out of the many suggestions that I have been going through, here are three that are viable, I think. One possibility is a library or museum display and materials. That will be in this county. Number two would be an event booth. That's a little more problematic. We already have Robin and Lori Mortale and Susan and Mary Palin and Gordy, and I've been working with you more recently on this kind of traveling, the little traveling booth.
Claire.
With Clara, and now the Colonial Kids Chores, what were kids doing 250 years ago, kids games and toys. It's kind of a recruitment, a recruitment booth. But I can't see us spending any more money. We don't have any, we don't really have anything else to purchase for that. The third possibility is to mark or rededicate a patriot grave. Now, that is very attractive. Last year, you marked, rededicated Gasper Trotty's grave, that's Clay's ancestor. And then, Hatcher, oh my gosh, there we go, thank you. Benjamin Hatcher's grave will be rededicated, although that is for another chapter this winter. But as far as Edgefield County, we have to look at patriots who are not already marked, who have not already been called dibs upon by other chapters. We have to bear in mind some of these are on private property, and we could pay a lot of money to go get a marker and nobody would ever see it again. Not only that, but the application process is the same as for joining or establishing a new patriot. So it doesn't matter that we and everybody else knows that there's a patriot grave across the street. We've got to go through the whole application and approval process again. So that's what we're up against. So the last part of my American 250 job is that we are supposed to present Patriot minutes each month. So you've been seeing all the Patriot legacies. So they're all finished, like 70 something, they're all done. And so Marilyn, Mary Palin started the project. I know why she was anxious to turn it over. And if my IT husband dies anytime soon, that's the end of my work. I've only gotten it done because of him helping. Him helping me with that. Okay, so our first patriot, Kathy New, is going to tell us a little bit about her fella and his work buying and selling goods before and after the revolution. It's real quick. She and I had a conversation at the doll's house.
She just asked me to do this.
Because I couldn't find anything on.
I wear several hats. She found me with one of my hats on. The dollhouse. Actually, Robin could probably tell you a whole lot more about my family. But my mother had inherited bookkeeping books, accounting books, from her great-grandfather, which
Oh,
was
wow.
my great-great-grandfather, Aaron Knott. So the books are just absolutely beautifully folded apart, but the handwriting is just the most beautiful thing. So Aaron, at late age of his teens or early 20s, was an accountant for shipping coming into Charleston. From 1842, from my ledgers that I have stored, he was dealing with a lot of money. You know, we're talking about 60,000, 100,000. You know, we're talking about rum and rice and weapons, and all of this is written down beautifully. Well, we know that during the war, he's still going with his money. But in around the late 1860s, the ledgers began to show pennies and dollars,
Oh.
$5 and $2. And so I know that at that point there was wealth before, and at the very end it was extremely poverty. Well, because of Robin, I know, we don't know when Aaron died exactly, and we don't know where he was buried. But that was the route we were taking from our patriot. And so Robin happened to find what he was doing the last few years of his life, or the last year. He was a treasurer or accountant for the Little Baptist Church in Batesburg. And so anyway, my patriot took a sharp turn at that point, and thanks to Robin out here. So, but I will say this real quick. One of the reasons that the shipping was so bad was, of course, the war. But Charleston was very active for years because the ships were small. But as the ships got bigger, the port couldn't handle the big ships coming in. So it was New York. So South Carolina lost a lot of money during that time with the funds and the shipping coming in. So anyway, that's kind of.
Thank you. Okay, and I've just got 3 more short ones. Marilyn Jackson. Miss Marilyn, your ancestor Hezekiah Barker. I found that he followed George Washington at his request, and he carried important dispatches, and he ran through the lines as a cowboy. Shanna Harrington, couldn't be here today, but her ancestor, her patriot, Rudolph Fox. He was the first permanent white settler in present-day Bradford County, Pennsylvania. And Ellen Owens,
She's not.
okay, her ancestor, her patriot was General Stephen Moore, and he took command of a regiment of North Carolina which participated in the first Battle of Camden. But after the war, after the peace, he sold his estate on the Hudson River to the U.S. government, and it is now the site of the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. And that's all I have.
Jane Page, where you talk about our bylaws.
So everybody got a copy of the bylaws sent to you. Some of the changes are just grammatical errors. Some of them are in order to make them in parallel structure with the national recommendations and the state recommendations. And some are new language that NSD, the national people said we had to put in here. So did anybody have any additions, corrections, or other commas, corrections? I had a couple grammatical suggestions. Anybody? Yes, I got it, thank you.
Madam Regent, Jane Page, I would like to make a suggestion. Bylaws are they're a very important part of our chapter management. Bylaws are picky, they have to be taken almost verbatim, word for word. I've worked on bylaws committees before, it's a long process. I have gone over these and there are things that I feel should be changed. However, we have a very long meeting today, we have an important program coming up. My suggestion would be, could we postpone the bylaws until a time when we can go over them word for word? Thank you.
I do believe that in order for us to go on in our operational year, we do need to have the bylaws established. Some of these are, Freddie, things like we can communicate by email. We don't have that in our bylaws right now. So technically, all of us are supposed to get a written notice of our meetings. We aren't allowed to communicate with each other to make business or send out business without email. So some of these things are pretty semantic. So Freddie, if you wanna go over, I think Robin would agree. If you wanna go over your suggestions, we'll take them now.
It's too long and laborious for a meeting as long as you planned today. And I understand you're to have a board meeting following, but it just takes up too much time. I still feel that it would be to the best interest of the chapter to do the bylaws at a time when it would just be bylaws.
Are there things on your suggestions that are beyond Scrivener's corrections?
Here are my suggestions.
Okay, so quickly, Freddie's suggestions are you in red? One is on page 2, she would like to add the word membership.
Bylaws are what the chapter is governed by, and they are very, very important.
Yes, and under Article 5, Section 5, the correction would be to allow the region in concurrence with the executive board appoint a person to fill an unexpired term. Currently, it reads that the vice regent will step in to fill a term of an expired term. There are on page 4 several Scrivener's errors and corrections. Page 5, again, the same. It looks like on page 6, you've kept everything else the same. On page 7 above, in Article 9, it seems that we have clarified the correction of the secretary, recording secretary. There's a strikeout that she suggests on page 8, about something being ratified at the next meeting. I think the reason that's there is that's a state requirement to ratify at the meeting it's voted on. So those are the corrections that Freddie has suggested. None of them seem to be too arduous.
I'm not sure if, Freddie had his own thing, it's page 6 about section 9, email voting. That's a duplicate. It's already in.
I think one is board minutes,
We have it.
and one is membership,
Where's the other one?
I believe.
Carrie,
Yeah,
one of the references to email communication is regarding the board being able to do it. The second is in reference to the chapter being able to do it.
okay.
So it does appear to be a duplicate, although it is serving a dual function.
Okay,
It's the light.
and under, page 3, officers, section 4, term of office. I don't think we really need that, whichever is later. Officers shall be elected by ballot for the term of 2 years or until their successors are elected, period.
Until you have a conflict where somebody's 2-year and somebody's successor years might be longer than the other. So I think the point there is that whichever supersedes is the latter, the longest serving person, not the shortest serving person.
Just didn't,
That way you don't have to fill a vacancy twice.
just didn't seem to me that it was really necessary.
I think
guess
Robin and I had that debate too, Carrie.
Okay. I suppose you're correct, that sometimes, you mentioned like, you'll have a capital R, and other times it may be small r, same thing goes for treasurer and other people. Are you gonna keep those consistent, either the capital or the small letter?
We will make a note that Kim and I will correct any parallel structure issues.
Okay. I think some of mine agree with. Do we really need to have where it says state bylaws approved? I mean, it's pretty obvious. When you look at national, they don't usually use those words. At the end, state bylaws approved.
I think that's a note for us to say when our bylaws were last revised.
We went
There
back-
is
yeah,
there is a
we
mandate
used
that they're revised every 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, some national laws, and they don't even, you have to have the dates, of course. But you don't need to tell people, okay, this is the date the bylaws were approved. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
It's real easy to check if it's written down there though, so.
Anyway, that's what I have to say.
I believe the reason why we need the approval indicator is the inference is we've gone through the appropriate parliamentarian process of voting on it, and they get approved, as opposed to, yeah, they've been updated. By saying they've been approved, then the inference, basically, statement is, your chapter has voted on this date, blessings upon this version. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
so you're just saying that, to have that on there, so when the copy of this, is made up and approved by the chapter, when it's sent to the, state parliamentarian, then she'll understand.
Yeah, sure.
We've approved it. Okay.
So the substantive change that, Freddie Lofquist proposes is to, make under Article 5, Section 5, read that the regent will appoint, rather than the executive board will appoint, any unexpired vacancies until the next annual meeting. I think the reason that the executive board was listed to do that is so that it would be more of a unilateral recommendation than just a preference of the regent. And the rest of, most of these look to be parallel structure and Scrivener errors with commas, parentheses, and periods. So do I have a motion to adopt Freddie's, correction on vacancies?
Doesn't it say, and I apologize, I don't have a copy in front of me. I thought it said something about the regent will name someone with the approval of the executive board with concurrence.
That's what Freddie's proposing.
Now, it would have been best if you just taken the bylaws and then the changes, basically when the cross out, it would be cross through and then the red section put right in there on the same page, so you're not having to have, okay, here are the bylaws, here are the proposed bylaws, one in each hand. That would have just made it easier.
I think we did, we left the existing language, crossed through it, and the red are the proposed changes. So, we have a motion to accept that change. Is there a second? Second, Kim? Sorry, you want? Everybody in favor of adopting that amendment, please raise your hand. Alright, so do we have a motion to accept the bylaws as corrected? As written with the additions of, parallel structure and proper parentheses? So Kim's made the motion, is there a second? Clay Fyatt seconds. All those in favor of adopting our bylaws, please raise your hand. Okay. Turn yourself out. I believe we had a 50% majority. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Now we have some old business. Frederica, you have an update on the celebration that we have coming up?
Different subject, different hat. Today, September 19th, is just 1 month in the exciting rededication of the Trenton Chapter 1927 monument honoring President George Washington's stop for refreshment at the Pinewood House on his southern tour in May 21, 1791. So, on Wednesday, October 19th, 1:30 in the afternoon, we will be joined by members of the DAR State Board and other DARs, SARs, CARs, Historical Society, as well as others from the community for this historically important rededication. Ladies, Trenton Chapter has to be proud of its history. And we will indeed, on that day, rise, shine, and sparkle too. I look forward to you joining this special event. The reception will follow the rededication at Pinewood House. I have put samples of the invitations that have been mailed to state offices, your board, members of the other groups. We have tried to be inclusive. We want everyone to know about our wonderful, wonderful monument, which now has a safe new home. Thank you.
Miss Evelyn, do you have a report on Tomasi?
I think so. Some of you new members, I don't know, are you familiar with Tomasi DAR School? Everybody knows where it's located.
No.
Okay, well, it's located up in the mountains of South Carolina. It's sort of near Clemson, Walhalla, yeah. And, we have, suggested that you bring the, items for Tomasi, at the next meeting, October the 19th, what is it? But anyway, just bring all your items to the next meeting for Tomasi. And Julia and her, Carrie's passing around a list of, items. That's just some items that I thought of, but if you all have anything that you can, please bring it to the next meeting, and it's just about anything. So, Carrie's passing around.
Evelyn, are these items to be used at the school or are they for the second-hand store?
It's for the thrift store.
So for the thrift store, so used items of good
Yeah.
condition are acceptable.
Just about anything you would ever see in a thrift store, you know, they have it, you know. But, we hope we can, come up with, some good items, and Julia and her husband are gonna take them up sometime after the next meeting, but we don't know the date yet, right, Julia?
I'm sorry, did you hear what you said?
You don't know the date yet, that you.
No.
Okay.
In fact, we talked about it, if we don't have enough to fill our SUV, we might wait until November.
Oh, I have a feeling you'll have plenty.
I'm sorry.
I said, actually, you're gonna have plenty.
Okay, another thing I might say about the donations, use the bag that you put in your, kitchen, bag, garbage bag, you know, not the big black ones, or just the smaller ones. Kitchen size, that's right, thank you. That would make it easier to transport for us.
And we thank you for accepting that job, that's a big job.
No problem, I'll have my SUV out there both months. Okay, thank you.
But you all have, just so that was just some of my ideas, but, I'm sure all of you have. But to the next meeting. Okay, that's.
Is the next meeting the same as
announcement.
I forgot earlier, you guys, but I sent out an email, I believe it was yesterday, in regards to a workshop that kids on their head. Yes, did I?
Yes, you sent it out, yes.
Okay, so last week there was 5 of us, or actually 6 of us that met, and I was able to kind of do a train the trainer with 5 other members in the chapter on the genealogical resource system that the DAR has online on their members only website. And it was a lot more fun than I even thought it was gonna be. We got handouts and I got all kinds of tools. Didn't you have fun, Kim? We're not gonna tell the sad story about Kim's almost, well, he's patriot, but she can't use it. Anyway. So I'm gonna have a workshop on October 6th. It's gonna start at 10 o'clock in the morning. There'll be those 5 people that were trained last Thursday to help out. And then there'll be 10 seats available is all. Jaden Page has already taken one of them. So if you would like to attend, please let me know so that I can mark you off on the list. And you'll just be learning how to fill out application, learning how to extract the information from the DIR database that is built with all of the applications that we've been submitting throughout the beginning of the organization.
I just wanna add to what Susan's saying, like when I joined 20 years ago, and some of you other members who joined prior, we all had to do our research in courthouses and libraries and fill out paper applications. And the reason I went, my supplementals were also paper, but if there are any of you who are the pre-computer stuff, this is really helpful because Susan is showing us how to use all of the computer databases now, fill out applications online. So it's just a way of going forward according to the way DAR is doing it now and not a few decades ago.
Well, wait a minute, sweetie, I've got to correct you on something just
Oh,
because
what's
it's
that?
fun. I am using a computer and I'm pulling data from the website. There is another step I'm not ready to take yet, and that's called the e-app. So now DAR has gotten to the point of you never touch paper. You know, right now, the applications that were signed today, of course, we still gathered and we put it into a form that's reformatted, special paper, yes. But yeah, the step I'm not ready for is where it's all done electronically. So when you say it's all done electronically, we're not there yet. But we're before the going to the courthouse, or we're not doing that anymore. So anyway, if you're interested, you have more questions, you'd like to come, we're gonna meet at 10 o'clock. We'll probably break at about noon and we'll go all of us to lunch or something like that, just so that we can kind of wind down and talk about what we did. So, thank you for letting me make that announcement.
Thank you very much. I'll take a little bit of time just to thank some of the members for the outstanding work that they're doing. You can tell from what we've heard already today, that the people are very, very busy. Our members are extremely busy, and I appreciate all the work that they do. But I just want to highlight a few things that I was thinking about. Susan Faulkner, for all your dynamic work and membership, and you're just dynamite. And in addition to all of that, yearbook. She did the yearbook, and it's a wonderful job.
There's a copy over there if anybody wants to look at it and make any corrections, and I'll send that over.
Thank
Sorry.
you so much for that. Tasha Garman, I want to
Yes.
thank you. Tasha is the one who did this beautiful newsletter. She did a fantastic job, and just wonderful. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
And she locked her service hours.
Good job!
Good job.
Linda.
And I want to highlight Robin Marines for this wonderful, wonderful newsletter that she did for our region.
District.
For our district, and it's a good job. Thank you. And finally, Dawn Patrick, another new member, fairly new member. She's the chair of America 250, exclamation point always, as well as the $500 grant. So I know she's working very hard. So it's a good working group, and I thank you so much. And I also have a few certificates. I will give these to Mary, who's our historian. This came from Fall Forum, Daughters of the American Revolution, awards this citation to Trenton chapter for outstanding accomplishments in obtaining Chapter Achievement Award Level 1. And this is for Luminary Challenge, Simmer level. I'm not sure what that means.
But we got it.
We got it now. Definition. And then we got this.
Ooh.
And this is 100% President General Project participation. So these all will go to our historian, and she'll put them in her file. So thank you. And finally, Robin, we're to you, and you want to announce,
You want to,
you're finally on.
Thank you, Joanne.
If you're like me, you're fairly new to DAR, and I've never had the privilege or the honor of going to our national meeting, the Continental Congress. So Robin has, and so I asked her if she would give us an overall view of what it's like to go to Congress. Some of you have probably been, so this may be old hat, but she's going to tell you about this one that just happened this past summer. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about Robin, because we all look at each other and we see each other at meetings and we think, oh, I know you, I know your face at least. Don't have my name tag on, shame on me. But anyway, so in case you don't know about Robin, she has been as a member of the chapter, or of the society. She has served the Trenton chapter as regent, registrar, and chaplain. In addition, she has served as chairwoman for multiple committees over the years. On the state level, Robin served as the state chair for Voluntary Genealogist Committee, right up your alley, and is currently serving as our District 3 director, as Julia said. She also currently serves as the Senior Society President of the William Stroud Society of the Children of the American Revolution, and the Senior First Vice President of the South Carolina Society of CAR. Her non-DAR CAR activities, she's very active in her church and also co-leads a neighborhood Bible study group. Prior to retirement, her professional career consisted of 41 years as an employee of the state of South Carolina, first as a tax auditor for the South Carolina Department of Revenue. And she's not a day over 50. And then at the Department of Social Services, where she finished her career as an IT program manager and a certified project manager. I should get you to be turning this thing on.
I managed others.
Robin has lived in Aiken all her life and married a hometown guy 47 years ago. They have 3 grown children and 7 grandchildren, and all of them are CAR members.
Of course they are.
Of course they are.
So it's my pleasure to introduce you.
The year I got 6 of them in CAR, doggone it, another society, some other grandmother got 10 grandchildren in, and I didn't win the prize. Silly. Okay, I'm gonna pass this around. This is some of the stuff I got while at Continental Congress. So if you just pass that around. Okay, I know Frederica has gone to Continental Congress many years ago. She did a great presentation a few years back on her experience, so I hope I can sort of kind of measure up to how you did, Frederica. I went in 2018 as regent, and then I went a couple of months ago as the district director. So I hope this will be entertaining. First of all, Continental Congress was the end of June. I took my second booster shot after marching in the parade the end of May. That did not stop me from getting COVID while at Continental Congress. But I would go again anyway, okay? There was a lot of people. We had our own super spreader. And what can we say? These things happen. You have to learn to live with COVID, I guess. And thankfully, with the 2 shots and the 2 boosters, I had a pretty mild case, thank you, Lord, so it worked out. I wanted to tell you and I don't have a magic pen, but anyway, how do you get to Continental Congress? Well, you could take the state bus, and for this coming year, there are 38 slots available. That's a great way to meet daughters from different parts of the state. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm trying to stay married to the man I married 47 years ago, and he wanted to go too, so we drove ourselves. But the good news is I got to stay at JW Marriott, which is the hotel that a lot of all the lunches were at JW Marriott. And if you wanted to shop, JW Marriott, there was plenty of shopping there at the hall itself also. I put the map in because I wanted to show you just how close we were to the DAR buildings. The X is where I was staying. Right across the street, closer to the White House, is the Willard Hotel, famous or infamous for some political shenanigans recently, but nevertheless, it's a lovely history, and Watergate. It was lovely. It's a lovely historic building. That is where South Carolina delegation always stays. If you're on the bus, that's where they stay. But if you cross over in front of the White House, there we are. We're across the street from the White House. That's where we own that city block. Your tax dollars at work, or in this case, your dues at work. Okay, go ahead next. The Continental Congress is made up of several different components. One is the business meetings, and I printed some pictures that I took while there. The business meetings, if you've been to the state conference here, it's basically the same thing on a national level. That is where we've got the opportunity to listen to all the state regents on what they have done during the year, this past year. And Bonnie bragged on us as well as she should, I might add. That is the picture in the lower, this is the left-hand side. Left is Bonnie and Helen from Mount Ariel and myself underneath the seal of South Carolina. It is a beautiful, beautiful facility, and they just finished renovating it. It is the premier place to have anything in Washington, D.C. It's the biggest event location in Washington, D.C.
You're talking about the DAR building?
I'm talking about the DAR building. I mean, they host concerts all the time, ballets, etc. But the last week of June, it's ours. Everything else is out. And this picture over here in the lower right, that is Bonnie talking about how wonderful and South Carolina is. The upper left is Bonnie getting an award for all our chapters fully contributing to the President General's project. Okay, next. Well, I should have backed up a little bit. Let me back up a little bit. Also, the business meeting this past year, what we did was voted on the national officers. And we also voted to increase the dues. With everything, as Carrie has said earlier, with everything else that's going up, the cost of running an organization this size has gone up as well. So not only did the dues go up $3 a year, but to be a life member went up $100. And also, we voted to make a few changes in the application process. You don't necessarily have to have endorsements by a couple of other members anymore. So anyway, all right, then lunches. Lunches, I think, are the most fun. I really, because I like to eat, you can tell, but also, you learn so much. You get to meet different people from other states, And it just, you know, just gives you impetus to go home and do great things. It's wonderful. They always have great speakers. They always are booked really quickly because everybody likes the lunches. The food's okay. But anyway, meeting others, daughters from across the country is just wonderful. The lunches were historic preservation, well, you know, that's right up our alley, and education. So during the lunches, they give awards. One of the things that I'm passing around, one of our DAR members, who is also a graduate of one of our DAR schools, where's the one with the,
Sorry, another one going that way.
It's stalled right there.
oh, that one, right there.
We've seen it, it goes
Just
down.
lift it up.
Patty,
She just wants to
Patty,
be
lift
like-
that one up.
This one, okay.
No, that one.
Yeah, what's
That
that?
is a kid's, program, and she's the voice. DAR member,
Oh,
who's a
cool.
graduate of one of our DAR schools, she was there, at the luncheon, talking about her experiences. It's basically it's a hero that, gosh, just the way you want your kids to turn out. Morally right, you know, doing the right thing and saving the day kind of hero. Okay, next. All right, evening. That's when you can put on the glitter. The evening events, the middle picture are the ladies that went on the bus. I didn't get to be in the picture, but that's okay. I tend to break cameras, so that's all right. One of the things I really love about the evening programs, especially opening night, just as our President General walks in, the American flag flies down. If you are not teary-eyed before, you aren't ever going to be teary-eyed. It just makes you proud to be an American. It makes you proud to be a member of DAR. It's just wonderful. Anyway, that's it falling down, just, well, not falling down. Doesn't fall down. We don't let the flag touch the
It's
floor.
unfurling.
It's unfurling, thank you. Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, was one of our speakers. In fact, I'll show you some of the other speakers. Every night is top-notch speakers at the Constitution Hall. Next one. For example, opening night, we had the U.S. Secretary of the Navy speaking to us about some of the initiatives they were doing. We also had David Rubenstein, who donated $20 million for the National Mall Trust. He's a philanthropist and he got more money than all of us together, obviously. He was wonderful. Education Awards Night, the essay winners, all the kids you're trying to get to write essays at the local school level, whatever, eventually we will have national winners. They get to be presented, that sort of thing. The All-American DAR Chorus. I was the only girl in 6th grade that was not allowed to be in the choir because I'm totally tone deaf. But we have some beautiful singers in DAR, and it was a wonderful evening. Historic Preservation Night. David was the 10th archivist for the United States government. He had just recently retired. He and our President General sat on the stage and kind of had a conversation about the importance of holding on to our treasures. it was touching. It was absolutely touching. And then the National Defense, as I said, Mark Milley, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and also the Chair of the American Battle Monuments Commission was the speaker. So as you can tell, every night had a theme, and we had A1 people speaking about those themes. All right, next. Now, one thing I did not mention before I sign off, because I promised I'd be quick, all during the 4 days, ladies, if you want to spend money, have at it. You can spend money. Downstairs in Constitution Hall are ways to spend money like no tomorrow. If you want to buy jewelry, got it. If you want to buy comfortable shoes, which by the way, I did, because I'm retired. I don't want to wear heels as a general rule, but the most comfortable shoes, Charleston shoes from Charleston, South Carolina, they were selling them there. They're wonderful. If you came home without it, or came to the conference without something for evening wear,
Really?
they got it covered. If you want hats, they got it covered. Anything you pretty much want to think of, it's there to buy. If you want to buy pens, because we don't have enough pens.
Right, ever.
There, you can buy your pens, and there are people there from development who will verify your eligibility for said pens.
So you can pick it up and take it.
And yes, you may. Yes. The normal insignia store closes down, and it's all about helping those ladies that are there. Yes, indeed. Also, there would be around the auditorium area is you can buy things from the DAR schools. All the schools are represented, that sort of thing. They're all there. Okay, now, this coming year, it's not too early to plan. They're already taking reservations for the bus.
Wow.
Well, the reason why they take reservations for the bus, you can pay like a certain amount down and then pay it incrementally. It's a first come, first serve, as I said. The DAR hotel blocks the rooms. Those are usually available around December when they say, here's the block. I got a really good deal. JW Marriott is rather expensive, but I got it for about 25% of the regular rate.
What is the regular rate?
Over $500 a night. Yeah, but I got it for